But yeah, obviously my story's a bit bizarre. It's a bit different.
It's very
it's quite different. I was in Broadmoor, so I didn't realise I was only geezer since Charlie Bronson to be kicked out of Broadmoor. Patients don't get jobs like that and that, bro. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. There was one lad in Ashworth who they had woodworks.
Okay.
This one geezer didn't want his little finger no more. Chops it, for the zzz, he like rammed his little finger through it just because he said he didn't want it no more.
Didn't want it.
He was a psychopath. So the thing with the psychopaths, they're very manipulative.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I prefer the mentally ill lot. Because they're the most honest lot. They're probably the most unprovocable, but the most nice is actually kind, is generous sort of lot.
Yeah.
It's their mental illness that sort of like him up. But the psychopaths are horrible. Because I was diagnosed as personality disorder, I was under the umbrella of the psychopaths. I wasn't labelled psychopath, I was labelled antisocial.
Yeah.
But they will design you to sort of suppress your mind and this, that, the other. Like, if you've got a goal, you've got a vision, you've got a dream, speak it into existence, bro. Have the courage to speak it, visualise it and chase it. Definitely.
Alright, Delinquent Nation, Prison Diaries. This is Ben Hatchet. Crazy story, proper interesting story. We've spoken a bit. You know, you do your podcast as well, you do the boxing, but can you introduce yourself quickly for those that might not know you?
Yeah, so my name's Ben Hatchet. Serving a former life sentence. We had to link up today because obviously I see the thing about the IPP. Do you know what I mean? I was actually live on Instagram and someone shouted you out. So that's when I reached out and I thought, you know, I've been watching this stuff, it's in the podcast, I like what you're doing. But yeah, obviously my story's a bit bizarre, it's a bit different.
It's very
it's quite different. I was in Broadmoor, so I didn't realise I was only geezer since Charlie Bronson to be kicked out of Broadmoor.
Oh, you got kicked out?
Yeah, I was kicked out of Broadmoor.
We're going to get into that, but how I like to do it, I'm just going to get to know you as a person first, innit? But that's proper interesting, like, never... You know, is it shut down now, Broadmoor? No,
it's still going, unfortunately. I did try and shut it down.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean? I gave it a good go, you know what I mean?
I heard a lot about Broadmoor, do you know what I mean? And, you know, it's like, it's, for the criminally insane, it's like, it's proper, it's serious shit, do you know what I'm saying? And this is going to be an exciting one. But yeah, first
it's hell on earth, bro. It's hell on earth, man. It's another world.
Yeah.
There's jail, there's prisons, and there's the world.
And then there's
yeah.
All right, bam. So, first of all, if you could tell us, like, your upbringing, like how you was brought up.
Yeah, I grew up. I'm a South Coast kid, so I'm from like I was born in Hastings. I grew up in Eastbourne, which is like on the South Coast and that.
Yeah.
I mostly lived my life in younger in foster care.
Oh yeah.
So I was in the foster care system, and then like a lot of people don't know. I've said it on some podcast. I was like severely bullied as a kid. So I never fitted in and all that. Do you get what I mean? So I always sort of struggled with school and not very literate, and I was very like in different care homes. Obviously, you know, I was on the receiving end of violence.
Sorry, just to cut. Yeah, do you want to say the reason why you was in the care home, like, or?
Nah,
it's a
thing with my mum and that. Do you know what I mean? I've always left my mum out of it, out of respect, innit? Do you know what I mean? So
sorry, carry on.
So then when I got to about 14, I remember I had like my first fight, and then. When I first time
Street fight?
My first sort of times, I used to get beat up and I never used to do anything back.
Yeah.
So, when I think it was like 14, 15, you know, I met someone in the town who was like a popular lad and that, and you know, I was a trampy kid and everything, bro. Like, I mean, people used to take the piss, and I mixed up one day with this geezer from a guy a bit older than me in the town, and he was on point, you know, he was dressed well, etc. Was all around the town, people was like nodding, speaking to him every 2 seconds, and they would show me some attention. Fight, like, you know what I mean? Like,
he was that guy, basically.
Yeah, he was the guy, and you know, he took a liking to me. And I started like hanging around with him, bro. And one time, he got into a fight with someone in town. Yeah. And he punched this kid out. He punched this other kid up. And I remember saying to him, like, how did you do that, bro? And he's like, what do you mean how you do that? You bang him in the face, bro. So I lived in an estate called Langley, and I used to mix with him in town. And Langley's like a bit away from town. Like every sort of area, town, city has that sort of one area. Like it's a bit antisocial. In Eastbourne, it's called Langley, and that's the state we was from. It's like an antisocial area. And then I got sick of this one kid taking the piss all the time. It was, you know, like people was bullying me, but this one kid was always taking it to another level. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Even like doing it in front of girls and things, and all that kind of stuff, like just fucking digging me out. And they used to sit by a park, They used to sit by a park which was around the corner from the block of flats I lived at the time. And I remember saying to myself, not long after I saw him fight, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go and punch this kid in his face, innit? Like, and he was there with all his mates. I just remember, like, I just made that decision. You know, you just make a decision. Like, I'm not having this no more. Like, I'm gonna go and do what he did. I'm gonna put my fist in his face. So I remember walking out. I had to come down from the block of flats. I had to walk all up this grass bit to where the church part, where they used to sort of hang around. And I remember walking up there, mate. My fucking adrenaline was down. Like, boom, boom, boom. Like, you shitting yourself ass. I was twitching all the way, walking over there. But I knew I was gonna do it. Do you get what I'm saying? I knew I was gonna go up. And literally, when I walked up, and he was sort of sitting there, and I walked up, and everyone see me sort of. No one's really took no notice of me walking over. And I just went over. I punched him straight in his fucking face, bro. Yeah, and I had it with him, and I just felt like the whole weight of the world was lifted. Yeah. Do you get what I'm sort of saying? Because things started changing after that. I started going in town a lot more, and starting to realise that you could fight back. Do you get what I mean? And then that's when, but I got quite addicted to it, and then that's when I got addicted to sort of like the antisocial, the sort of violence mixing in town, and then.
And was you getting respect for like beating people up and that, and maybe that was like a driving force?
Yeah, because you start getting like in them sort of towns, and it's the small, your name starts buzzing.
Popping off,
and then you start getting pussy and things like that. You know what I mean? I remember trying to be kidding onto the notice of, do you know what I mean? Your names get popping in town, and you start mixing, you get girls, and you start meeting, and you get people nodding at you in town, you're getting do you know what I mean? So
and now you're kind of like your mate, you know, the one that was like that guy,
literally, that's literally how it sort of turned out. So over that sort of course of 2 years, that's when but things just like really got sort of worse and worse. You know what I mean? Like I just sort of, I was always a bit of a fucking weird kid anyway. I didn't really have any sort of limitations on the sort of violence. So I was getting that sort of name, and I used to buzz off people talking about the sort of mad shit was doing. I thought, if I keep taking this violence to another level, people are going to keep talking. And that's when these people had these sort of reputations and that, like, bro, I've woke people up with golf clubs bounced off their heads in their mum's house and things. But the word like just sort of spread on that. So when you started doing these things and you're creating that sort of buzz and that, it was like a defense mechanism as well. Because people was like, well, he's a bit of a weird kid, he's a bit of a wild one. Like, you don't know whether he's going to come and try and fucking burn your house down and all sorts. Do you know what I mean? Like, in Chinese whispers, you do one thing, the time the actual one thing you did do, the time it gets back to all the other people, it's exaggerated anyway.
I would say it's like, you must know a lot about this, it's like jail, innit? Like, you know, you might land in a new jail, and then, for me anyways, I'm quite small, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you land in a new jail, no one really knows, do you know what I'm saying? And then you do a madness, do a mad work, and then after that, you're respected. No one's gonna do it because they know there's gonna be mad repercussions. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like prison. It's always about heart at the end of the day. I think that's the main thing. Like that's what prevails inside, anyways. What you're willing to do, how far you're willing to take it.
100%, and I think that's when it was a test. And I think for me when I was younger, there was no limit. I think when you haven't got them limits, when you haven't got that consequence thinking. Anyone with that sort of mindset's a dangerous person. 100%, 100%.
Yeah. And just getting onto the dangerous, they must give you a dangerous report, innit, in court, in order to get.
Well, they life me off, bro.
To get life.
You could kind of say that. They life me. I was 20 years old. They give me a. It's kind of like the IPP, but it's a hospital version. It's an indefinite sentence, section 3741. So you have to get out through parole. It's the only way you get out. But in the hospital, they call it a tribunal. But obviously, we know that
it's just parole. It's
parole. Do you know what I mean? So like sit in front of a judge and all that.
So what did you do to end up? What was the crime? First of all, what was the sentence?
So people say I did 10 years. I didn't. I actually did like 13. Like best bit of like 13 years.
Yeah.
Because I went away. I went away at 17. I went away for a knife crime. I got 5 years for that when I was 17. I come out when I was 20, I was out for 7 months, and then I was recalled for a fight in a pub I didn't actually commit. I wasn't involved with the fight.
Even if you bust it, you have to still stay in it.
You know, as soon as you get arrested and charged, you get recalled. That's the fucked up thing about it. Like, you know,
even if you're not guilty.
I got bailed. The thing is, the police bail me, but then the next thing you know, police come and
they'll recall you.
Me.
Police will bail you. Probation will recall you. Then you got to wait on parole, maybe another year or two.
Exactly.
You're alive for so.
I went to the court as well. And then it was acquitted. Like they didn't have the CCTV back then, but when they managed to get the CCTV, there was a big fight in a pub, and I had like the same colour t-shirt or something as this other kid, and I think once you get in them sort of towns, the small towns, you get known. Do you know what I mean? The same kicks off. Oh, you there? You
must have been him. Yeah.
You just get judged, don't you? But I generally wasn't involved. And then so I got arrested. And they charged me, bailed me, and next thing you know, probation got me recalled. So I went away, went to court, it got acquitted. But when I was in Lewis prison, there was a lot of fuckeries that were happening. So, and obviously my name kept coming up.
It's a beaker, isn't it, Lewis?
Yeah. So I did Lewis, and I got kicked out of Lewis, sent me to Winchester.
Yeah.
And obviously that's when allegedly, the hostage taking got done. The GBH got done. The rooftop got done. Elmley, the barricade got done. Yeah. And then...
Oh, you got nicked for barricading?
Yeah, I did that a couple of times, bro. Yeah.
What, your cell?
Yeah?
Your cell?
Nah, the association room down the healthcare.
Nah.
Yeah, I took over the whole association room. Yeah.
Nah, because...
No, I did it in which healthcare did I do? Yeah, Winchester and Elmley. I did two of them, yeah.
That's not just for people that don't know, like, normal prisoners would barricade, like, their cell because they don't want screws to come in and take their phone. So you'd put a barricade up so they can't get in. But I've never heard of a man barricading their association.
Yeah, I did the whole social.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I armed myself up with the pool balls and that. But that's what I got done for false. That's what I got done for another hostage. I got done for four hostage taking. They called it false imprisonment.
Oh, because you had people in there, not letting them out.
Because me and one other lad did the one in Winchester. So, and we didn't let the other prisoners leave. Yeah. And one of them allegedly got attacked. Well, he put a statement in.
Yeah.
Alleged nonce.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, was it really a nonce though?
On paper it was, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. More time, that's the way it is then.
Yeah, but it was on that. It was actually on it was in Kent, Elmley, that one. He was actually on the fucking South Eastern News.
Oh yeah.
So he was like, so
he deserves what he deserves.
He was up for some fuckery.
Anyways.
Anyway, but allegedly, me and my Cody at the time allegedly, bounced pool balls off his head. But like I said, not that.
That's allegedly.
It's allegedly, you know what I mean?
It's not been proven.
No, it's not.
Yeah, come on.
So so obviously we got the false imprisonment. So I had another false imprisonment. So I had 4 false imprisonment charges. I had GBA. My charges were building up, bro. Ridiculous. And I did Winchester.
Was you getting extra days for this as well?
Bro, that was out the window, mate. Because when I was on recall anyway, so like getting extra days, it went.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like now, bro, I was catching big charges, bro. Like, because you remember, I got when the geezer slashed me. He got slashed as well, but he got slashed quite bad. Because there was a rumour. Like, I never saw anyone get tagged up. I saw bits in Portland, young offenders and that, but I always heard a story that if you put 2 razors together, it makes it difficult for them to stitch it.
You can't stitch it, yeah.
So the geezer that caught me, I thought, well, what happened if you put 3 razors together? Do you get what I mean? So I thought if 2 would be hard work, 3 is definitely going to cause you an issue, innit? Yeah. Obviously, when you're a bit sore because you've been tagged up yourself, so you think, well, fuck it, I'm going to do the 3. Yeah. So again, allegedly,
yeah. It gets like that, you know what I mean?
GBA Section 18 late, another charge, did
they end up nicking you for that?
Yeah, I got arrested for that, and it was all the other charges and that.
Do you know what? Just off the back of that, I just want to make clear, a lot of people don't really know this, but a lot of violence goes down in jail, and a lot of the time it's not dealt with. Do you know what I'm saying? A lot of time it gets thrown out because it's embarrassing for the prison. Do you know what I'm saying? And obviously, man ain't really snitching anyways. There are certain man that will, but man ain't really snitching anyways. So from when you're not going down and saying, it was my man, I've had madnesses on camera, which I probably won't speak about now. Off camera we will, but I've done a madness on camera and just got a security move because they didn't want to deal with that type of violence. Do you know what I'm saying? They didn't want to deal with that, so they just moved me out of Doncaster to Loudon. Do you know what I mean? So, that's probably why. I don't know why you didn't get, do you know what I'm saying? But they don't like...
Nah, the charges built up for me, bro.
Yeah. Some do, but like sometimes...
A lot of them don't. Like, there was many little tear-ups we had, and obviously,
a lot of them is just...
Especially in Lewis, there was a...
Just do a bit of block, innit?
Yeah. Like, they GOD'd me off in Lewis because they just thought that I was... what I was doing and that. So obviously, staff got arrested for parcels and all that. They get thrown into the mix. So I got moved to Winchester, but after the probation refused to let me out, that's when I started losing my head a little bit, and all the charges, bro. I remember... Then they went to some... a medium secure hospital because they thought I wasn't right in the head.
So before you went to the medium, just because I don't know, explain the process. Like, so you was getting you was building up all these charges.
Yeah, so I had a lot of these charges, and basically when I was on top of Winchester prison roof, I'd done the roof in Winchester prison. I said things like when I was up there, like, get me an Elvis Presley impersonator singing Faith by George Michael. Like, I swear that song haunts me today. I tell you what, that fucking song haunts me. Because every time, you know when you're in the bus, they've always got like smooth fucking
classic or something.
It always comes on. Every time I get transferred and moved in the fucking sweatbox, and that song would come on. I go, yeah, Faith, fuck off. You know what I mean? You know when you hear songs, fuck off, man. Like,
you requested that while using the roof?
Yeah, because you know they always bring them the team in, don't they? They always have like professional negotiators.
The nationals and that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And there's always someone who's done their course of like that negotiating.
Yeah.
They don't give you shit. I learned that through my protests and all that lot. So I just used to banter and take the piss. Just to sort of like, I'm sitting there in July on top of a roof. They're trying to say I'm coming down, like, going back to the block. Yeah, I'm staying up here, mate. You know what I mean? I'm getting my sunburn for the day. You know what I mean? Like,
do you know what? Yeah, you're bringing up so many memories. I've done a lot. I've done protests in it, and then is it Oscar one that comes to you and they try and negotiate like, are you gonna come down? Like. And you're like, no one's coming out. Do you know what I'm saying? No one's coming out.
It's like every time you ask for something, like, okay, we'll just feed that back to the governor. Like, you know what I mean? No, you ain't getting shit.
All it is, as soon as you come down, you're in the block, you're out next day. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes, if you want to go out, if you're protesting because you want out of the jail, they'll keep you there in the block. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you know what I mean? Because it does. Yeah, them protests are mad still. So yeah, you done the protests.
So after all this and all this stuff, they just thought. They wanted to medicate me. They didn't think I was right in the heads. And so I went to like a medium secure unit, a medium secure like mental hospital. Yeah, it's secure and that it's still sort of secure.
Like a CCAT version of prison.
Yeah, CCAT, slash sort of DCAT.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then there was a big escape attempt there. So people got things held to their neck and all that sort of stuff. So there was a key that sort of fitted another door. It was like, like electronic key. Yeah. You know.
Talk us through that, if you can. Yeah. Remember I told you
because I'm under my team. I'm under them, so I got because where I'm sort of life licensed as well. I'm under Sussex Partnership, and that's actually the place I'm under. So
you can't really talk too much about it.
Because it's like I'm under them. They know everything I'm doing. They watch, so there's like I can talk about what's happened there, but I can't talk about where I'm under. Do you know what I mean? There was a big, escape attempt which I was convicted for there. So
you got convicted for it?
Yeah, I was convicted for that, along with about 4 other charges.
Okay, so what did they give you? I'm sure it's like maximum 10 or minimum 10.
No, definitely. That's when they gave me the section 3741. Because after that, they just like you ain't right. So that's when they was just like sectioned me off, mate. You know what I mean, it was gone. Yeah. It was just their way, like in the hospital, and that's when it's obviously. After went back to jail again after the escape and that, and then I went to Broadmoor. Yeah, so I went to Broadmoor. From
the alleged escape, you went to Broadmoor, so that's a maximum security.
Yeah, Broadmoor Heights. Do you know what I mean? It's like you should double A catch, your A catch. You know what I mean? Like no one's there doing like. It's like. No one there is getting out anytime soon, bro. You ain't seeing people getting out of them.
It is indefinite, isn't it?
It's indefinite. Do you know what I mean? People sitting there in double figures and that. Like it's a norm. Do you know what I mean? Like when you hit them places, bro. Like majority of people there, killers, all they're like severe nonces. Or
they're just not right.
Yeah, it's not right. You know what I mean? There's some good ones in there, but just obviously them they're doing big sentences, bro. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Usually I ask like, what was your first night in prison like? Yeah, but I can slap this one on you now. Like, what was your first night in Broadmoor like? And before you even answer that, you must have known that you was going there before you went there. Yeah. What was your thought process? Because obviously you've done jail, but you've never done Broadmoor. Yeah. What was your thought process? Maybe a few days before, or whatever. Because you never know when you're getting transferred, but you do know that you're going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, what was your thought process?
It's just that fucking name, innit? Broadmoor.
And then Charles Bronson and that.
It just sounds like, you know what I mean, Broadmoor. Like you're going to Broadmoor. Like, am I like fuck? I mean, like what the fuck? Like, do you know what I mean? Obviously that film was that I went away after I seen that film was that. Do you remember Bronson? Obviously
that's what I just said.
Film and Charlie obviously got the film out. So you see that. I read book with the Craze. I know the Craze was there. Yeah. You see documentaries. You had the Ripper there. You had. Do you know what I mean? Like. It's the end of the line, isn't it? Yeah, You can't. Where else do you go? Like, there's nowhere else you go. Like, Broadmoor's end of the line, bro. And I was like 21, bro. Like, fucking hell. I was sitting there scratching my head, thinking, like, any day I'm going there. Like, So I was just like, fuck, man. I didn't really know what to do in that. Yeah, it was. But I remember my first night there, though.
Yeah, go on.
So,
must be interesting.
Here's a story actually.
What's the cells like? Is it the same?
Asked me, it's on the podcast. No one's actually asked that, man. That's like, you know, you're a good host, bro. I mean, all the big hosts that's I've been on you. No one's ever actually asked me it was your first night like in Broadmoor, and that's actually a good story actually.
I'm a professional.
So I remember like, so I've gone. So I remember I was going there, just like fuck, you know, and then. Just got in there and they do all like the checks and all that, you know, you strip down, etc, and you walk in, you go into it's all old Victorian and all that as well, man. Like it's just you feel that vibe when you go there, bro. You just know this is in the line, man.
It's
like
damp.
I mean, like, bro, it's fucking hell. You go in there and like, people just like it is the sort of like thing you expect. Some people pacing up and down, people there just not in the world of their own, and you just think, well, you're off key. And but my first night, there was one lad who was like half on the level. His name was Ross Beebe. His name was, and you got to get your own TV and all that in there. So you go in the room, it's all like full on like solid plastic. Nothing's movable there. Like even like sort of chairs in the day area. It's all like weighted, mate. Like, do you know what I mean? Everything's very like high secured. You know what I mean? Even like the telly in the main area. It's all like boxed.
So you can't smash up or nothing like that.
Nah, nothing. Like it's hard work to make a shivving, like shank and all that in them sort of places. Do you know what I mean? They've got it. Because there's like more staff than patients there. So they're like
they're on top of it.
In Broadmoor they try to. Broadmoor's a jungle, bro. Like Ashworth they got very more stricter. But going back and then there's this one lad I started talking to. I didn't have a telly or nothing. And he said I can borrow my portable DVD player.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's sweet, man. I was like, yeah, sweet. I said, what DVDs you got? You're not allowed CDs in Broadmoor, but you can have DVDs. You can't have CDs because one of the staff got stabbed up with a CD. But you can't.
Same thing, though.
It's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but prison rules are silly, though. I know what you mean.
It makes no sense,
it
innit?
makes
But
sense,
like, you can't have CDs. You can have DVDs or fucking whatever. Why I don't know. But like, anyway, let me DVD player. Yeah, so my first night at Broadmoor, he had 2 DVDs. Yeah. So he had SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, I know where this is going. Yeah.
Or he had fucking Paranormal Activity.
Oh yeah, Paranormal Activity.
Paranormal Activity. So he had 2 DVDs. They're the only option I had. You know what I mean? Like, well, I'll go with Paranormal Activity. I ain't fucking watching SpongeBob. And I mean, I'll sit and what gives the Paranormal Activity. So I remember sitting there in Broadmoor, the old Victoria, my first night of it, sitting on my bed with this little DVD player watching fucking Paranormal Activity, and what a freaky film that is. And I should have chose SpongeBob. Just freaking me the fuck out, bro.
I probably would have picked SpongeBob, bro.
I would have picked SpongeBob because then you hear all the howling, the people screaming. And that's what it did sort of hit me. And like, you know, the mattresses there, they're not like bit different to them. Joe, do you remember like at school?
The P mattresses, the thin
like
ones.
Thin blue. That's the mattresses in like the mental health system, bro. Yeah, like bro, terrible, fucking horrible, mate. Like
in prison, it's just a bit thicker than that.
Yeah, like, honestly, the prison one's nicer than the it's like literally them ones you just get at school, that blue mat. Just like horrible, bro. Like fucking horrible.
And how you supposed to lay on that?
Yeah, you just try and find to get comfortable, mate. Like you ain't get comfortable there, and I'm sitting there with this DVD watching this freaky fucking film, and no curtain things. You get all like the dim lights coming in. You're all shouting and banging. Like it's some nutty shit, mate. You know?
What was the politics in Broadmoor, and what was the maybe I don't know, because you know in jail the politics could be anything, can it? Do you know what I mean? But what was the politics in Broadmoor? As in like what was the most thing that. Like, what was the reason why most people might kick off or whatever? The politics first. Yeah, what's the politics?
I'll tell you, I was there for about a few weeks, and I got stabbed in hot ward.
You got stabbed in hot ward?
Yeah, I got stabbed in my back with a fork, not like.
Just a fork.
It was a fork. It was in there when we gone for dinner time, so you have to go to a separate department. They wand you down even when you go in for your dinner and all that. Make sure you don't get metal.
For your dinner?
Yeah, but I pat it down just every time you go, and you go there, lunch and dinner, don't you? So the geezer caught me anyway. Like it was Matthew Gazarda, geezer from East London. He just got 26 years for life. Yeah, I'll tell you. So he got 26 years for murder in East London. Like stabbed some geezer mental health due to he had like a mental episode.
Oh, so was he going through psychosis when he attacked you, or was this person?
That's what I was going to say. I'll tell you the story of what happened there. So so as we've gone to do, you get your hot drink. He just been sentenced, and he was meant to be on arm length observation. When you get like life in there, which for a week or so, you got to stay. The staff got like be by your side, watch you like 24/7. You got to be in arm's reach. And
that's crazy. Yeah.
And on the because it's admission ward, so like the first like an admission, induction wing.
Yeah,
so it's just like the admission ward. And so we've gone for like every hour you could get a hot drink. So you have to go in this room to get a hot drink. And they're not allowed to give you boiling hot water. They have to like milk it down and all that.
Yeah.
But anyway, this day they fucked up. So they've given him hot water. I like dropped like this little lid of a milk carton.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I went to pick the milk carton. I remember as I turned around and picked the milk carton lid up, I just felt like on my back.
Yeah, like
I just think, right, splash straight away. It's fight or flight, innit? You turn around, bam, I've clicked on that he's just done me, and he's standing there like bugging. I think it was like a weirdest sort of moment. I've just gone into him, then he's got nervous and he's picked up the fork. So I'm going in him. He's like lit me up in my back with the fork. And yeah, so it was mad. When that was like about 3 weeks of being there.
And that was just literally you just getting.
Well, it turns out he thought I was a zombie. That's literally it, yeah. But it turns out like literally he thought I was a zombie that was trying to drag him to the afterlife or some shit. So, yeah. But that's the thing, because in jail, now in prison, anyone who watches been in prison, you'll know when it's you kind of half know there's a vibe on the wing when it's going to kick off.
Yeah.
Or you'll hear
you know that,
you hear that. You know what I mean? You know what's happening. Now in these places you don't, because you don't know what's going through the reds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's so many violence that happens there, are like just unprovoked sometimes. Just everything could be chilling. One geezer don't know what's happened to his head, and he'll just run over and just start going in on someone. Like, that's what I mean by it's a jungle in there. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't know where people's heads are at. Like in jail, there's politics, there's policies. You follow procedures. You don't things happen.
Yeah, you expect what's gonna come. Yeah.
And there's like obviously in jail you got the ego thing inside in jail. In the hospital, it's not really much about ego. You know what I mean? It's about who's the sanest on the day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not really ego. So it can go off mostly just more unprovoked and random in the hospital system than like politics. So
like, did that give you like? Because for me, I noticed like I've just come out of jail myself. Yeah, I noticed like early in the morning, I just jump up, but like jump up with energy. Because like when I was in jail, I used to every morning I used to lock my door because you know. That's like you know in the morning. Either I don't want people bothering me in the morning, or if someone was thinking about something, that's the best time to get you in the morning. So just for years of prison, I just wake up, lock the door, and then when I've woken up properly, I've made my tea, I'll come out on the landing. Do you know what I mean? It's got inbuilt into me. So did that affect you in the future? Like, because the time there, knowing that you've just bending down and then the man's done that, like for me after that, I would be in arm's length with anyone, and if anyone moved too quickly, I'd just probably end up cracking him. I'd probably be like one of them, just thinking they was gonna do something.
I was. There's a bit of paperwork, and I should have bought it really. There's a bit of paperwork, and this is like in Broadmoor, you was involved in several incidents of violence, which you all claim they were self-defence. You know what I mean? Like, because there was a law, and I'm like, there's a law called preemptive strike. It means if you feel like you're under threat and that, you've got the right to strike first. And years after, because when I got kicked out of Broadmoor in Ashworth, this other doctor who was on my case a lot, and I obviously had to try and use that one again. He's like, Mr. Hatchet, every time you get involved with violence, you keep trying to use a preemptive strike, innit? But you know what I mean? To be fair, like it is. Like I thought after that, there was one geezer I had an argument with, and I bounced like some remote controller off his head and that. Like when he was near me with a coffee, and then there was one guy.
He was just near you with a coffee and you just thought...
he was being a bit aggy and all that, but it was just sort of the way, it was his sort of character, it was high energy, like, he was just snappy, it was his mental health, but like, I'd not long been on the wing. I still had the burn pack on me. I still had the burn pack, because they have to write all them sort of sheets.
I know.
You know what I mean? I had them on me for a bit.
It's for a while, innit?
Yeah, so I about 3 weeks I had them on me. It was 3rd degree. Now it's just like a discoloured scarf. I get out like the shower or something like that, it sort of, you can see it, do you know what I mean?
As long as it didn't have sugar and oil in it.
Nah, that's it. That's when you're fucking in trouble, mate. You know what I mean? But so it did. I was always on edge. There was one geezer. I'm gonna name him as well. Otis Morrow is a piece of shit. If you're in jail with him, you know what time. Like, he's a fucking wronger. Honestly, he's the biggest wronger ever. Yeah. A proper nonce. So he was in there like nonce-type girl and setting her on fire and all that. But he was a psychopath.
He set a girl on fire.
Yeah, but like in Broadmoor. There's like,
and he nonced her as well.
Yeah. Okay. So he was there for like 10 years, 11, 12 years and that, But he was a psychopath. So the thing with the psychopaths, they're very manipulative. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I prefer the mentally ill lot. Because they're the most honest lot. They're probably the most unprovocable, but the most nice is actually kind is generous sort of lot. It's their mental illness that sort of like...
That fucks them,
fucks them up. But the psychopaths are fucking horrible. Because I was diagnosed as personality disorder, I was under the umbrella of the psychopaths. I wasn't labelled psychopath, I was labelled antisocial. But the psychopaths are fucking evil. Like, I'll tell you what, we was in Broadmoor now, you put a drink down. If I take my back from a drink, I wouldn't never drink that from that bottle and that again, because they put fucking pills in. Say they're mental. Yeah, because they're just weird. But them psychopaths are just horrible, bruv. Like the horrible one, the Broadmoor lot. Anyway, so I was on a wing with him, and there was this one guy, Otis Mora, fucking psychopath, very manipulative. I was still young when I went to Broadmoor, still 22. I know you think you know at all that age, whatever, but you're still easily influenced, and you're still quite naive. Do you know what I mean? And he was sort of playing my strings like a fucking puppet. Like, cause I was sort of short-tempered and flair. Like, he'd be like, example, we'd be at the office, be like, oh look, they've left our mail up there and all that. I'd be like, what? Bang, and all that. Why are you fucking doing that? And he'd like walk off singing. I realised he was just playing like games. That's what them weirdo psychos do, innit? And when I started working in the cafe in Broadmoor, a geezer, an old Irish geezer, I've got nothing but respect for him, Paddy. And he basically put me on tour, told me he's like a raving fucking nonsense, he's just a manipulator. He got staff sacked there and all that because he pretended he had an affair with her and all this. Just a weird fucking guy, bro.
He just wants to fuck people's life, he's just problematic.
Just proper chaos, shit's like, innit? Anyway, so I just thought, I want to do this geezer saying, you know what I mean? Like, I thought, you've played me for a little bit, I'm gonna do you something back. But I thought, I'm gonna try and play the psychopath game. You know what I mean? I thought, let me give this one a go. You know what I mean? So I started, like, because we were well nonsense that year, like, every time there's a female like, staff on the wall, he was like on her and that. So I started saying, every time I see him, I say, on it like butter on toast. Like, you're on them like butter on toast. You know, like carb on it, but I'd say butter on toast. So every time I was with him, I just kept saying it and kept saying it and kept saying it. Yeah, just I was hoping one day he's gonna snap, innit? And I thought I could do him saying. So I was trying to be clever, not just get like the attack him first.
Self-defense.
I was trying to, you know, my preemptive strike. You know what I mean? It's a good one, I mean. So anyway, I thought, so anyway, he has actually, one day he snapped and he's come to my door, with a shiv, shank, whatever we call it these days, like, it was a spoon, scraped down, plastic spoon, sharpened down, and he had a coffee in his hand. He's actually come on my door, and I've just said it to him because he was with a burn. I said butter on toast, I've walked past, innit, get my paper. I've gone back to my cell and all I would knock on my cell. So I run my door, he's there. And I was like, what the fuck do you want?
Shank in his hand.
But no, he had it in his pocket. So he had his hand in his pocket and he's had it, innit?
But you see when someone comes to your door and their hand's in their pocket in jail, you know what time it is. You know, especially if you're not my mate. What you doing there with your hand in your pocket? Take your hand out of your pocket. Exactly. That's what I told him. Take your hand out of your pocket. Or forget this, you know what I mean? You know what's good. Again, you pick up. I'm very like into that energy. So you pick it up in it. You know what I mean? He ain't coming for a coffee, has he? You know what I mean? He hasn't come here for a chit chat. You know what I mean? But he's got the coffee in his hand. Yeah. So I'm saying, what the fuck do you want? Like, and he's like, I know what you keep saying. I said, I said, all right, what we gonna do? You know what I mean? He's like, is it coming? I said, come in then, innit? He's like, do it here. I said, put the coffee down then. And literally, as he's gone down to put this coffee down, like, as he's come out, I stuck the fucking cleanest nut on him ever, bro. I stuck the nut on him and it dropped him as well, yeah. So I've literally just flying on top of him, bruv, yeah. I was going to work on him. Another fucking patience and scars cunt called fucking Shane Cooper. Yeah, fucking rat. Went and hit the bell. Oh, hit the bell!
Hit the bell. But I had Otis at a fucking good spot. My cell was just sort of, as the wards went, just went around, so it was out of the way of the office. So I could have, you know what I mean? But I did, so I sent him to hospital. Sent him to hospital anyway. But it's like, I could have really, I'll tell you why I'll tell you in a second why he really did deserve it. So anyway, you know, bells all come, this, that, the other. He come to my door, they found the fucking shank and all that, yeah. I get moved back to higher dependency, and about 4 months later, he was in the middle of assessment going to a medium secure unit. When you go to a medium secure unit, that's when you're on your way out. I got sent to a higher dependency fucking ward. You know what I mean? And then he got 4 months later, he was on the way to discharge. He come to my door. But it was like, but the force that you used was excessive. I said, he had a fucking shank, like, he come to my door with a shank. Are you fucking, what the fuck? Like,
with Joe, like your preemptive thing, what I used to do anyways, if I had an issue with someone, or if I wanted to set it on someone, if I didn't like someone, and you know, these politics do go on in the wing, what I do is I'd be like, come to my cell, let me chat to you quickly. But once the cameras see someone coming into your cell, whatever happens after that, you can claim self-defense because like they've come into your cell. If you walked into their cell and come out and then all of a sudden the guy's got black eyes and that, you're gonna get nicked in it. But if you call them into your cell and they come out with black eyes, you bust case. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is, because I did it right there on the door, but I think if I had just done the headbutt, I might have half got away with it. But it was excessive force after that I used. But the thing is, why I still you know, hold no remorse for the geezer, because he actually got out, and he's actually all over Google. You can Google him as well. His name's Otis Morrow. He actually got out. He did get out, and he actually raped a 17-year-old girl.
Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's why I do name him, and that's why you know, I hold no remorse whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? I'm glad I didn't do him any further damage, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? He's just a piece of shit. He's a psychopath.
And just to touch on that, like, for people that don't know about, you know, what goes on inside, if you are in for any Nazi crimes and that, you will get dealt with.
But he's actually gone to jail now, so I'm hoping, you know what I mean? I know you got a lot of talent, you know, now, like, so, it's, I mean, we're naming shaming you, bro. You're on Google as well, mate, I mean, Google it, people.
Yeah, cold. All right, so, Broadmoor, so this is an interesting one, because I usually ask about the prison food, and, do you know what I mean? So what was the Broadmoor? Was it any different?
No, it's quite similar, to be fair. It is similar, but the lunchtimes
is it cooked by the patients?
You got to remember, I ain't been in prison for years. I did most of my time, like the first couple of years I was in jail, and obviously I was in the young offenders in jail, but obviously my whole sentence was mostly through the mental hospital. So like, you know, I done it in jail now, because you was recently in prison, weren't you? Like, was lunchtime, was it hot meals, was it cold meals?
Yeah, so lunchtime it's like a sandwich, a cold meal.
Same, yeah.
And then dinner time's like a hot meal,
Yeah, dinner time's hot meals. So it's the same, you know, cold meal, lunchtime.
But did the prisoners cook it?
No, you don't. You want one.
That's what I was gonna say.
You don't get that in here, bro. You know what I mean?
Like, so you've got actual staff that cook it.
Yeah, it's all staff. Okay, you know what I mean, because I think to keep a patient in Broadmoor, it's like 300 grand a year. To keep a prisoner in prison is like what, 50
grand. I think it's 50 grand for an A cat. For a C cat, it's like 30 grand or something.
Exactly. So and it's up to like 250 to 300 grand a year to keep a patient. So that's like the big difference they got between the hospital world and the prison world. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you know, they have to, you can't prison, like, patients don't get jobs like that and that, bro. Do you know what I mean? There was one lad in Ashworth who they had woodworks.
Okay.
This one geezer didn't want his little finger no more. Chops it, through the zzz, he like rammed his little finger through just because he said he didn't want it no more.
Just didn't want it?
No, like he didn't want his finger no more. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a different world.
Yeah, it's a different world.
It's a different world.
And also in jail, you see a lot of like self-harm, but disgustingly. I've seen a few people hang themselves. I've seen people do some naughty things. But you know, I've seen, like, you know, the whole floor of the cell, like maybe even that thick, just blood. You know, and just blood and water, and this guy's just chopping. He's not even dead, like, he just does this. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm guessing that Broadmoor was a lot worse. You must have seen a lot of claret. You must have seen a lot.
Do you know what? There's one geezer, I'll name him, and oh fuck it, Matty Lamb, yeah. There's one geezer in it. He was on this Epsom wall, because they all tried turning on me. Quite a few of them, innit? Because I was a big lad in it. I don't know. Have you seen the pictures? Have you seen the ones in Instagram? No. When I was in Broadmoor.
No, I didn't see your jail pictures. Do you know what I mean?
You've seen the ones I was
seen
in
you
jail.
kind of looking like this.
No, you've not seen the jail picture.
Nah, I didn't scroll that far down. I saw like the first.
You have to put a picture up on the editing.
I'll pull it up. Yeah.
So I was like,
right now.
Right now.
You're gonna see it now.
So nice. So I was like 14 stone muscle.
So
I don't know, I'll show you some of my Instagrams, you can see it. So I was walking around like 13 or 14 stones. I was a big lad. I wasn't on steroids. On the bowl. I mean, but I had to, because I had like, so I was walking around like a big sort of lad and that, and I had a lot of beef inside and that. Do you know what I mean? The staff didn't like it because I was like, you know, short, stocky, and I was just sort of, you know what I mean? I was very like sort of in your face sort of character. Like I was on it, and a few lads didn't sort of like it because sitting there's like on that Epsom ward, it's like a dual diagnosis. So you got the psycho, but then you got the antisocial personality disorder. You got the personality disorders and you got the mental health mixed on the ward. It was all locked down and there was a lot of head games going on. So it was a really fuckery sort of ward. And I don't know why they all hadn't heard that I was gonna fucking do one of them something, and they all sort of tried turning on me. And I had to stick on one lad, Matty Lamb. But then I felt sorry for him, because he used to put batteries up his dick.
What?
Bro, I've seen, like you're saying, all the self-harm, people used to slash up and all that. You get all that in especially in them sort of places and that, but this was like next level. This is the most extreme self-harm I've ever seen. But it ain't even a funny thing. It goes a bit on, So he's put these like fucking batteries up his jap's eye and all that,
Up his jap's eye?
Yeah, Bob, in his dick. That's what I'm saying. Batteries. No, like the little. Well, I say little, they're not fucking even like little ones. The triple A's. I'm trying to do them justice saying they're little, but they're not, are they? You know what I mean? Like, how the fuck do you even manage?
I don't even know how that makes that. How does that even fit?
Dudes in this room, we're all cringing like,
that's horrible.
So, but fucking sorry, but he used to do it. It's Matty Lamb. He used to do it. He used to put things up his dick in there. But to be fair, it's actually not that uncommon in them places. There's quite a few that have done it. Yeah, so Not like fucking all of them. You know what I mean? There was a couple though, innit? Like,
yeah, you've heard about it a few times.
So anyway, he's like, his battery's up there, like from his remote. And do you remember what was that paper? The Sport. Do you remember the paper? The Sport.
All the nudes and that.
They did like a big article about. They said, Broadmoor patients sticking batteries up their thing for some sexual fetish thing and all that. So one of the staff must have leaked something to the papers, whatever, about him. So I've gone and put it under his door and all that. Like, I mean, I've got the article. So I used to get that paper because it's like the best thing next to porno, isn't it? You know what I mean? Sport was just titties and fucking mad stories and shit, innit? So I used to get that paper, and when I read this fucking article, I was in stitches, mate. I was starting ripping into and so I bet you're buzzing about this. You know, what Hatchet is one-liners anyway. But yeah, just kicking it all off and that of them, mate, because they're just a bunch of arseholes. So. Yeah,
that's cold. You know what else I'm interested in? Yeah, what's the currencies and what's the contraband like? So you know, so the currency in normal prison would be tobacco. Yeah. Nowadays it's vape, and then obviously contraband. You get all sorts in jail.
Yeah.
Broadmoor, are they really getting in like that?
There's not really a lot of currencies in there.
Phones, like, you know what I mean?
Nah, but there's no phones. Very rarely you get tobacco. You might get the odd one bit. There's one lad, high profile geezer. I was next door to him for Danosonics. He's the one who killed the two French students. Stabbed them like 240 times. Got the politician Jack Straw moved.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, he's high profile now. So Dano, me and him, he used to get tobacco in, and we used to have a bit of a smoke and all that lot in his business and that. But they come down and
oh, they just...
Yeah, it's so hard that you won't get no phones and all that them sort of play in Broadmoor, mate. Nah, there's no real currencies and that there. Nah, like, it's not real...
So I'm just trying to I'm just struggling, like, trying to... Because I empathise with you, bro, because I've done a lot of burn myself here, but it's like, I'm struggling thinking, like, how have you gone... Like, how have you done year after year there? Do you know what I mean? If there's no currency... So there's no... Because in jail, yeah, you can maybe... There's things to, like... You got things to strive towards it, although it's nothing outside, yeah, but it's something inside, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess you can only work on your physical, I don't know.
Yeah, but in Broadmoor, like, literally, I had nothing. I give up, I stopped speaking to everyone outside, like, I was done, I was lifed off, I was young. I had dramas with fucking extremists, I had dramas with staff, I had dramas with other geezers, like, and then I got put on Roaccutane, which is, like I say, like, bad acne, and then I Roaccutane, that started getting me depressed, and obviously after the riot in Broadmoor, when I got kicked out, I went up to Liverpool, and that's obviously I went there, I got accused of taking the Ian Brady hostage, or allegedly putting a hostage thing together for Ian Brady. It cost me 9 months seg. So when I went
there, for 9
months I did seg, 3 days short of 9 months.
We'll expand more on that in a second.
So that was challenging, bro. But I think, you know, when you just accepted your fate, like what it is. But it was in that 9 months where I discovered like law of attraction, and I, you know, I dreamed of something. Do you know what I mean? I had these sort of mad goals, these visions, you know, I sat there and meditated, and I started writing these goals down. But to keep me occupied, I was a fitness fanatic. Like saying, if you're gonna put the pictures up, so you'll see people. I was all fitness. That's all I was. Do you know what I mean? I was like constantly training and just wait. You know what I mean? So that was like, I think, just striving me, and then having this sort of like I always knew, bro. I knew 2020 I'd be released. I don't know what it was. Like, I just had this vision. Like it was saying about 2020. I said, man, like,
I know what you mean, bro.
2020, like, no, like, I had no release date. They once told me I'd be lucky. I'll be out before I was 40. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I just knew,
especially how active you was in there.
Yeah.
But you got a man like Charlie Bronson, who's still inside. He's coming out later soon, but he's still inside now for how you keeping up in jail. So you know, yours is a pro thing. So it's surprising. You know what I mean?
But it was a blessing. It's when I did get into it, like, I come out of that sort of seg, a different person. Yeah. And I know I was attacked 3 times after that, and not once did I retaliate.
Really?
So when that kind of happens, it's like proofs in the sort of pudding. Do you get what I mean? It's like, and then it was where I was sort of carrying myself. I started reading a lot more, and you know,
you said that you wrote a book.
I did. I'm a published author. But I did that in the last place I was at. I went from the high school to the medium school where I got released, which was in the place I got released from down near my way in Sussex, Helen Light Centre. And that's why I published a book, The Law of Attraction, and it fucking sold out in the UK. It's not even 40 pages long.
Oh yeah, but
I did that for a reason, because I found there's all these mad books about law of attraction, all this and that, and you know, the only reason you read really inside is sort of like past time, especially when I done all that seg and that, you know, I never really read, and especially outside now, like, you know, I could not sit, no amount of time, I could not sit down and read like a full book. And I remember, you've heard of the speaker, Tony Robbins?
No, I haven't heard of him.
He's like a motivational talker and that. He's really good. Like Eric Thompson, they're like very good. And I remember like a quote he said about, Tony Robbins said like self-help books, like people barely read past the second chapter. So if my book was in a library, it would be under like category, it'd be in like the self-help section.
Yeah.
So I went and looked at all like sort of self-help books, how many pages were 2 chapters, and averagely there was about 40 pages long. So I thought, if I write my book less than 40 pages, everyone's going to read it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's
sense,
why I saw it. Like, to me, it makes sense, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wanted to break it down to words that I would understand. You know, I'm far from illiterate and, you know, I struggle to read and write. But I really wanted to sort of like, I don't know, like when I learned the effect about a ripple effect, about that, the actions, the words that we say, it has an ongoing effect that we don't know about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The power of word and physical and thought. And I wanted to really put it into words that people, like from myself, I tried sort of writing it to myself, to the old me. Do you get what I'm saying by that? It's quite deep, and that's what I do. I wanted to spend a bit of science behind it to sort of like the whole having belief and having a dream and thinking, do you know what, if you've got a thought, goal, vision, dream, like fuck it, go get it. Don't get nothing, no one get in your way. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I wanted to break it down, and it's sold out.
Yeah. Big respect for that, bro. Like, you know, that's like,
I appreciate it, thank you.
That's cold, bro. Like, you know, you've come out of jail. I'm not even come out of jail. You've wrote this.
No, I was still in the mental hospital.
You wrote in the mental hospital.
I wrote in the mental hospital.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
W.H. Smith say when they took it, they didn't even know I was in the mental hospital.
Didn't even know. Yeah.
Yeah. After they dropped it, but I mean,
yeah, you sold out in the UK. Doing so, this is kind of similar to what I started. I started doing this thing from when I was inside.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of doing all right. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just big respect for anyone that's done their bird and they're trying to do better, and you know,
100%.
I just have total respect.
And that's why I had to reach out to you,
Come on, bro.
when someone, like I said to you, when someone put me on live with your when I was live on Instagram, you got a shout out. It's still like, again, we're saying about the ripple effect. You might not even know these people are watching you. You might even know them, but they're watching you. So obviously, for them to sort of start shouting out your names, oh, you need to link up with such and such. You know what I mean? So people wanted us to come together.
Of
obviously
course,
watching you, they're watching me, and obviously it was a chat. So that's why, you know what I mean? Like, we reached out. So whoever that was who said it, look what you've done. It's the ripple effect. You know what I mean?
Made it happen.
We made it happen. You did this. You know what I mean? So I'm glad they did. I'm really glad, because like I said, I watched your stuff, and do you know what I mean? Coming from the jail, like anyone. That's my whole thing now, showing people you can come out and you can choose.
And make something of yourself.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, like, don't be suppressed by that fucking the pyramid, man. Don't be suppressed, man. You know what I mean? If you've got, like, go get it.
Yeah, come on, bro.
That's all you're doing, and 100% I had to reach out, bro.
Come on, my brother. That's love, man. What was the worst injury you've ever witnessed in prison, or mental? When I say prison, I'm just talking about the whole thing. Like,
it was.
Your
I think the 2 people that I did the escape with, they both died.
Oh, they both died?
In a short period of time. Yeah, one died in Swellside, and the other actually died in Broadmoor, the ward that I did the riot on. Yeah, they both died within like literally a few months. So it was like fucking weird, that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I've always carried that with me, and I think that was one of the things that changing as well, because we was all in that sort of escape attempt together, and realising that literally everyone sort of involved died except for myself. So it's sort of like,
thanks, you
get sort of saying, it's like, you know, again, it's kind of guilt as well, which I know it's smart about this. It's a kind of like, it's the whole ripple effect, man. You know, I think with my character, I could have easily sort of like withdrew it a little bit, made it not happen, but instead I was, you know, fully committed to it, and look what happened after. You know, people lost their lives. So you're saying they lost their lives as a result of that? Or 100%, bro. Because if they stayed in the hospital, would they have died? No, one stole some drugs behind the counter in Broadmoor. Like, he took these drugs, but they were slow release, so he was waiting for but there was like some sort of painkiller. But he overdosed. And the one in Swellside, I don't actually know how he died. There was a few rumours again, but I think it was something to do with drugs or like that. But it was like, I was in Elmley block at
you
the
guys
time.
all there too,
I was in Elmley block. He was in Swellside, and he died in Swellside. And when I was in the block in Elmley, because I did a protest, the vicar come round to see you. You know, when the vicar comes round, you know it's never good news. And we said my Cody and Swellside had died that yesterday morning. So so I've always sort of carried that one as well. So it's been a bit of a tight one. But I've seen all, like you're saying, the bloodbaths. I've seen it. You know what I mean, the self harm, but the injuries.
Do you know what? A lot of people do say the same. Not the same thing, but a lot of people say like, yeah, I've seen the stabbings, I've seen this, but the worst one was like this situation. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. What about your darkest situation in jail, and that can be like the time when you was just the most depressed, when you was at your lowest?
I think it was definitely it was in Broadmoor, mate.
Yeah.
When on that time at Racketing, that's when I considered suicide.
Yeah.
And there was
after the riot?
No. This was leading up to this. Sort of leading up. This ward was horrible. This fucking ward, and I think when I was on that Racketing, it's like strong to get rid of like spots and that. And I just thought, why am I carrying on, bro? I've got nothing but fucking hassle with people. I got the extremists want to do my fucking head in. Like, I just thought, I'm never getting out. Like, what am I doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just entertaining. I'm existing. I'm entertaining these fucking people. Like,
and that is the feeling.
Yeah, like getting up and getting out. I'm depressed. I just thought. So I think that time in my life,
you considered it, yeah.
Yeah, I thought about it many times inside, and that's real talk. I thought about it many times, but I think there's thinking about it. And then it's considering it.
Yeah,
do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think once you're at that level,
cross your mind, but
it can cross your mind.
But you can actually figure, yeah.
And when you're actually in that sort of mindset of actually really considering it, that's when it could either go one way. And for me, I hit that level of like really considering it, and I was close to. I'd say, I was very close to actually doing it. You know what I mean? So obviously, thankfully I wasn't, and thankfully I didn't. But I was definitely close at one point.
It's a blessing that you didn't, because you're out here now. You've done loads. Obviously, we're gonna get into that right now. But you've done loads with your time outside. You know, like obviously I've done some research on you myself, and then walking up here, we've had a bit of a conversation, and I've learned that you're out here kind of thing. So, what you like? So, do you know what? Before we even get onto what you're doing now, I just want to know, how did they tell you was getting released? Because did you sit your parole?
Yeah, I got out through parole.
So they told you got it? Yeah,
because I did the courses. Like I said, I carried it for about 5 years. When I gave up violence, I said to people, I made a deal with the universe. So the universe, I'll never harm another human being in my life apart from boxing. Like, if you let me achieve these goals. So it was like my sort of goal with my God. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying my God, I'm not specific to a religion. It's just sort of like, I believe in youth, I believe in energy, I believe do you know what I mean? There's something watching over me. I just think, so I sort of made a deal with a God, whatever we want to call it. And I wrote these goals down, and I think it really, and I stuck to it. Do you get what I'm sort of saying?
Yeah,
and
that's the important thing.
Yeah, and I stuck to it, and I just thought, the world's out there, people want to put you down and, knock you down, and I thought, why don't I go try and build people up? Do you get what I'm sort of saying? Why don't I go out and try and make a positive difference, then positive ripple effects, and then I just think, like attracts like. I think if you're positive, you get it sort of back. I was carrying myself in a mad fucking way, so I started carrying myself positive way. They told me, I would not get out before I was 40. Do you get what I'm sort of saying?
There's no light really.
Nah, there wasn't. But I just knew in my head, like 2020, just positive mind, keep going. Do you know what I mean? And stay focused. And then I got referred to a medium secure, which was good. And I got to the medium secure. I had a knockback because obviously, I got off, then I escaped and there. You know what I mean? But that was meant to happen because that's how the old Amazon filming happened.
Yeah, that's how you got to the Amazon.
So,
but we will talk about in a second.
Yeah, so it's like, so I was never gonna be perfect. But, again, I was never going to harm anyone again. Do you know what I mean? I know I sort of shot myself in the foot by getting someone to pull out on a car. I jumped in, boom, it was gone.
Yeah.
But it was like, I set myself back. Maybe I could have got out a year before, maybe. But it was meant to happen because of, like, the events what have happened after that. Like, everything I sort of wrote in my book and my goals, I'm achieving. So, the universe works in mysterious ways sometimes, bro, Yeah. So I lost a few paroles. But this one, I sort of done everything, and someone from like prolific violence to like none, and I hit low risk of violence in my category, and you start getting a little bit of leave. Do you know what I mean? When you get your bit, and you go out for like an hour with a staff in the local sort of area, and you go back, and I've done on my leave, then you get unescorted, but then COVID fucking hit, didn't it? But they already sort of half found me accommodation, like this flat in the supported living where I live now. So I got quite lucky, because I could have got out in March, but they delayed my parole till July due to COVID.
Yeah.
Because it went through the first lockdown. Yeah. So I was like, oh no, like, I've been waiting for this time. I knew they were serious about release because they found me accommodation. When they start finding accommodation, and everyone's supporting it. As soon as the doctor, like, God's in them places, what the doctor says, I mean, they carry so much weight, you know what I mean? What like is what they say. Like, the Pro Board are going to go off their recommendations, because it's all like, well, if it goes wrong, we can blame you. Do you get what I'm sort of saying? That's how it all sort of works, isn't it? So when the doctor was supporting release, I kind of knew what I was going. It could have always gone the other way, because of the amount of shit I did inside. The Pro Board could have been like, nah, like, you know, give it another year or wait a bit longer, especially now all this COVID was happening and the flat wasn't 100% at the time, because someone who was meant to move out of my flat couldn't move out because of COVID. There was a lockdown.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, oh no, like I was like, shit, and like, you know, and then so I thought I could be going home in March. Next thing you know, again, they moved my parole till July. It's an extra 4 months, the longest 4 months. And you don't know what's happening. You keep on checking the news and all this death rates and all this left. I'm like thinking, fuck my life. Like, am I destined to get out? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to have a positive mindset, you know what I mean? But you just got to go with it. You just got to roll with the punches, innit? And that's what I just did. And the day of my parole, I remember the day, like,
what, was it immediate, or did you know it was this day you was coming out?
Next day. So like when you go for your parole and all that lot. But they nearly delayed it in the parole. I was like, fucking hell, bro.
Did you sleep that night?
Nah, did I fuck?
No, of course not.
I was listening to that song, mate. Know what song I was getting gassed up to? That old P Diddy, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell Eastbourne I'm coming home. I mean, like, I went back to Hastings, but honestly, I was just, it's like a dream, bro, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And my pal come pick me up next day at the van, like, I had it all lined up, and then we had a party. There's clips, on the gram, innit? I mean, like, you can see how gassed up I am. Like, on the highlights on my Instagram, you can see how gassed, because all the lads I grew up with, some of them were there. Big barbecue, and some of my mate was singing with his guitar and shit. Like, but it was just, I did a talk and that, and obviously like Amazon filming there. Do you know what I mean? Because the day they filmed me from the first day I got out.
Oh, so you already had made a deal then before you came out?
I was on the phone to him. I was making plans before. You got to chase it, bro. Don't waste no time. Like, you know, if you've got a vision, you got a goal, bro. Don't waste no time, man. Like, nothing's gonna come to you. Like, people say to me now, like, I've been out I got out July 17th, and people are like, Ben, how are you achieving all this in a short period of time? Because it ain't gonna come to you. Do you get what I'm saying, bro? Like, nothing will come to you. Like, there's one quote: the best way to predict the future is to create it. Do you know what I'm sort of saying? You're gonna get knockbacks in that, but make shit happen for yourself. You can do it. Like, just you know what I mean?
I
like,
agree with you, bro.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, no way you're gonna like not do it, but not trying. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one of them guys. Like, you know, I'm enthusiastic. I'll try. If I take a loss, you take a loss. We're gonna take L's, and like, you need the lows in life to appreciate the highs.
Of course,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta get it, bro. If you've got a goal vision in your head, then fuck it, go get it. And that's what I tell people now. Like, you know, because I've come back and people are still doing on the same thing. There was when I just done a life sentence, and they're still doing the same shit, bro.
Come on, in the same position. They're just waiting for it to come to them, I guess.
But I've come out. I ain't wasted no time, bro. I was getting it lined up from when I was away, bro. You know what I mean? So that's why I've come out, and I'm just keep going.
So off the back of that, like, what? So you've been out since July. What have you done? Like, what have you? Tell us all the things you've done. You got a podcast going on right now.
Got the podcast, and I'm mixing up with little documentaries as well. Like, I did one with Big Nasty the other day. Like, went up there training with Big Nasty. Shout out to Nasty, humble guy, mate. He's one of the real ones. He's in the MMA, and that's did some boxing. Obviously, I've got my fight coming up.
When's your fight coming up as well?
Now they're telling me June, July in the IBA. It's going to be Circus Tavern. I was meant to fight in November, but you know, again, look what's happened. If I had that fight, it would have been done and dusted. Look what's happened since then. Sometimes you just got to like, man, things like that. I'm a big believer. You know, one thing I've learned since coming out, you don't know what's around the corner. You don't know what next week holds. Like, bro, like, I've said it on a couple of podcasts, but. Like we was talking earlier about jail music, Young Spray, because I know you said Young Spray. Like, Young Spray, I had your CD, bro, really in the most, innit? Like, if you watch this, bro, like, I mean, like, hopefully one day I get to link up with you, bro, because I had your CDs.
I'll make it happen, trust me. Don't worry.
Really in the most, I had that one, bro.
We were saying before we come here, like, everyone in jail, there's like certain CDs, like the Sprays one gets banged for every 100%,
and the Locked Up song, Spray, that was the song, bro. Listen, that was a Locked Up, that remix song, that one, and one of the other ones, you did the remix of I Could Use a Wish right now. Taking the piss right now. Listen, I'm a fan, bro. I know the lyrics, bro.
Hey, it's gonna happen. We'll do the link up, man.
But the other person I used to really listen to was K Coke. And obviously, like, Mum's coming out. I got to meet him, going up to Stay Busy Studio, film for the Amazon. So, like, you know, sitting there in State Business Studio. Yeah, that was like surreal. And all these people, like these actors, everyone I met, I've watched them on films when I'm away. I'm sitting there. I've got half of them. I've got all their numbers and that. Do you get what I'm sort of saying? You come from the sort of that to like where I am. Do you know what I mean? And it's all just about focus, perseverance, and going getting it. A lot of it's through the Amazon, and then obviously doing the stuff for the YouTube. I do stuff for the YouTube now. I love it. I love the podcast. You know what I mean? I think they're powerful. Yeah, they're booming, which is good, and people are connecting with the stories, and it's making, like I say, I'm a big believer in the ripple effects. So I believe, you know, these podcasts are creating good ripple effects, and you know, I love doing them. I'm hosting that, and it's the first one I've been on for a while, because I'm normally hosting them, bro. You know what I mean? So
thank you for coming on, bro.
No, 100%, it had to happen, man. Like, I see the work you're doing, like obviously raising awareness for the IPPs and that as well, because my sentence is very similar to the IPPs, and I think the IPPs are fucking horrible sentence. Horrible, bruv. You know that, and the joint enterprise and that as well. You know,
that's horrible.
Big up to Jolly Jamal, who's serving, you know, one of Johnson's, Birmingham, serving on joint enterprise law. It's bullshit. But so I sort of seen the stuff, the work that you're doing and that, bro. It had to happen, man. Do you know what I mean? Thanks for having me on as well, bro. You know
thank you for coming on, bro. I know you've come from far, you know what I mean? Thank you for coming
Hastings, on. Hastings, South Coast, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro, but you're an amazing guest. But do you know what? Just before we go, I do need to ask I just need some advice for the youths, and that you've given loads already, loads. But if you're just gonna give maybe advice to your younger self, what advice would you give? You've done a book on this, so you know.
Yeah, I could say, listen, I'm an ex-mental patient. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, look, you know, I'm getting packed by the sun because I'm dating a former page 3 glamour model who's been on reality programs. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I've done all this in 8 months.
Yeah, in 8 months.
Do you get what I'm saying, bro? Like, my advice is to the younger generation, bro, like, the world will try and suppress you. Do you get what I mean? You know, all this school fucking system and all that. So I weren't educated in school. Yeah. But they will design you to sort of suppress your mind and this, that, the other. Like, if you've got a goal, you've got a vision, you've got a dream, speak it into existence, bro. Have the courage to speak it, visualize it and chase it. Definitely visualize it, but don't want. Like I tell everyone, there's a big difference between want and have. Like, everybody can want. Yeah. But the minute you say that I'm gonna have these things and you put in the conviction behind it, you can achieve it, bro. Like 100%, you can fucking achieve it. If I'm an ex-lifer, fucking mental patient, I'm out here living everything I said. If I can fucking do it, bro, you know what I mean? Like, see what I'm saying? If I can fucking do it, you know what I mean? You got this, Pete. You have, man. You got this young generation. You know what I mean? 100%, man.
That was big advice, man. Big advice, man. This was Ben Hatchet. Check out his YouTube channel. It's just Ben Hatchet, innit?
Just Ben Hatchet, it's like
loads of great stuff. He's doing great stuff. Yo, check him out. Thank you for coming on, brother.
I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Thank you, lads.
Delinquent Nation, Prison Diaries. Yo, that was cold.
That was good, wasn't it?